Hello, this is Jason Robinson from Illustration by Design, and this is a continuation of an earlier live stream from yesterday, Friday the 13th, where I started drawing, Disney, she's not a former Disney, because she still works for for Marvel, but Disney actress Zendaya. Started drawing her yesterday. Ran out of time because I had something to do, so I am back now late at night, early in the morning on Saturday to finish her off. So, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it, and I hope you guys had a great Friday the 13th, and it was uneventful. Let me just start YouTube so I can actually see when people pop into the chat. I saw a couple people, then they disappeared. I guess the full moon got them. But I hope you guys are planning to have a great weekend and everything is going peachy keen with you guys. So, let me just get to the right channel. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And, if you haven't already, please give this live stream a thumbs up. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. And if you haven't already, also please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications of future videos. I try to do them fairly often, but yeah, usually a few times a week I will do a live stream and try to knock out an illustration of someone somewhat well known, whether they be a real person or a cartoon or comic book character. So I'm on here fairly often. I'm not quite at a point where I'm going to be doing this every day, but I'll do it a few times a week. Let's see, let me get to this. Alright. Now earlier, I messed up. And I ended up having to... and even that... this is the... dang it. See, I did this earlier today too. I messed up. And I ended up having to erase her eye. And I think I'm going to have to do it again. Because my mistakes are killing me. Or I could just leave it. I'm gonna erase it because I'm looking at it now and it's annoying me. You're seeing the sausage being made. Luckily this eraser is fairly soft, so it doesn't do that much damage to the paper. But it's just frustrating having to redraw something 3 times because you were not paying attention the first 2 times. Let's see if I can get it right this time. There's a benefit. Well, that's this. There is a benefit to drawing on a computer as opposed to drawing by hand. You could, like when I make mistakes like that, I could just cut and paste, fix these mistakes instead of having to redraw everything. It's just the redrawing that is. It's frustrating. Uh, let's see if I can get it right this time. Okay, this time I'm not gonna completely draw everything until I'm sure of the proportions of her face and head. That way I'll spare myself and you the agony of having me erase and redraw major parts of her head. probably tell, my live streams tend to be more on the silent side, so please do not take offense at that. I just tend to be an introvert, so I'm not, if you ask questions, I'm happy to answer them and talk if you have anything you want to talk about, but I tend to, left to my own devices, just draw and listen to music, so I'm not naturally gabby. I'm just kind of drawing the shadow lines for her face right now. Actually, I'm kind of taking measurements of where the shadow should go, just so I don't end up doing this, having to redraw everything all over again, like I did with her eye. Interesting. This is a cool little eraser I got for my birthday. It's basically just a smaller version of this click eraser. This one's, I think, 2 millimeters. Is it? I think it's 2 millimeters. And this one is, I'm not sure. No, this one's 2 millimeters. This one is, I don't know, a lot fatter. So, but it lets me get to a lot smaller areas. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. Alright, third time's the charm. Let me go in here and work on her eye. Hey, everyone subscriber is here. You're back. Yes, I am back. Back to finish this drawing of Zendaya. So, I want to get it finished. I've already erased her eye twice. I'm now redrawing it for the third time. And hopefully, I will, after that, be able to let it go. Quit obsessing over it. So I'm glad you're back as well, Evan. Hope you're doing well. Matt Kimball's here. He says, "Hi, Jason. Hope you had a nice birthday." Yes, it was. Very nice. Evan Von Carter says, "I'm burnt out." Is that what it says? I'm burnt out. I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, it was very nice, Matt. Just stayed home, which is what I like doing on my birthday. I don't really like going out, so. And I ordered out some food, which my wife very kindly picked up for me. I ate it, then I passed out, took a nap. And I woke up a little while ago, and now I'm back drawing again. So, it was a very good birthday for me. I don't need much to have a good birthday. I just need to sort of be able to relax at home and not have to worry about anything. That's a good birthday for me. Oh, hold on. It says trying to reconnect. So hopefully this live stream is not sputtering out, please hold on. If it is, if your connection, not your connection rather, but my connection is getting jittery. Matt Kimball says, "Oh man, I missed a couple frames of that high stakes art stream drama action." Yeah, I know. You have to watch every second. You can't blink when you're watching me draw, or else you're gonna miss everything. Matt Kimball says, "How will I ever keep up with the plot?" I'm afraid you missed it. You can go back and rewatch what you missed later on, Matt. So yeah, so you're very fortunate. Pope Fire says, "Still going." Jeez. Well, yes, I have to finish this drawing. It's calling to me. I can't leave a drawing unfinished, Pope Fire. Aaron Ross Garber says, "I'm extremely exhausted. I can't be held accountable for my poorly phrased messages." That's okay. I create poorly phrased messages every time I open my mouth, so don't worry about it. Matt Kimball says, "You will be held accountable at a future date." Yeah, okay, that's fine. This is the internet and it never forgets anything. Yeah, I know. I know. The internet is a cruel mistress. Much like Pope Fire, the internet is a cruel mistress. Okay, it's starting to get there. It's starting to get there. I'm actually starting to see Zendaya in this drawing. I'm not entirely displeased with my efforts to this point. But I'm starting. I'm seeing all this stuff I need to fix. I've kind of given her like Cro-Magnon brow here, and her brow is strong, but she is not a caveman, so I need to reduce it. I am trying thin washes of white, black acrylic over medium gray primer boards now. Kind of interesting, says Matt Kimball. Cool. Yeah, I'm not brave enough to do painting other than on the computer. It's just I get frustrated very easily. As you can see, I make lots of mistakes, and correcting mistakes with paint is too much of a headache for me to paint. I mean, I've painted before, but it was a cleanup, the messing up, the mess in general that kept me from ever falling in love with it. It was interesting for me to do, but doing it, I realized that I'm never going to be a traditional painter. Um, I mean, I love the look of it, but thankfully you're able to achieve that on a computer nowadays, so I can forego the mess and still achieve the look I want if I decide to do that. Everett Skyler says the internet will forget me. No, it won't. You think it will until the authorities come banging down your door. Then you realize it didn't forget. It didn't forget. Matt Kimball says, like St. Bob said, no mistakes, only happy accidents. Yeah, but St. Bob is way more patient than me, so that's what I'm saying. I don't have the patience for it. I get frustrated easily when I mess up, and even just like the screw ups I've done today with this drawing. You know, if I wasn't able to correct them fairly quickly and easily, it'd drive me crazy. So I'm thankful that at least with a pencil, you know, it's very easy to fix things. I don't have to tear my hair out or whatever to whenever I screw up. It's just like, okay, well, it'll take maybe 3 minutes to fix. It won't take me half an hour or more. Let's see. Maybe you should try it while drunk. Just saying. Well, I don't get drunk, so. when I get drunk, I tend I never gotten drunk, so. But I imagine if I'd gotten drunk, I would start making foolish decisions like deciding to start painting. So I don't get drunk. The world is safer with me away from paints. I mean, it's such a high learning curve to become a good painter. I mean, it takes so much practice that I would seriously, I go crazy. I'd probably end up being another Van Gogh and end up cutting off body parts. You know, trying to attain some sort of mastery with it if I were doing traditional painting. Because every time I would screw up, it'd be like, ah, dang it, gotta fix it. Gotta learn from my mistakes. Hope I don't mess up again. Waste all that canvas, all that time, all that. One of the things that always sort of turned me off of paintings, the same thing that turned me off of collecting things like toys and stuff, is the space. You know, when you paint traditionally, you gotta find some place to put that painting, to store it, and I don't have that much space. And the amount of drawing that I do, or the amount of art that I do, I need to be able to, you know, I when I draw in sketchbooks, and a sketchbook, you know, I can do, I don't know how many, 300 drawings in a single sketchbook, um, and I much rather, I mean, how much space does one sketchbook take up? You know, maybe what, that much space on a bookshelf? How much space does 300 paintings take up? Yeah, it's a lot more. So I can't. Uh, yeah, between the time spent and the space factor, it's always sort of always made me disinclined to take up painting, traditional painting. But I know some people who love it, and that's all. I mean, it's like if you paint, I have a lot of admiration for you because you have a lot more patience than I do. You have a lot, and you are able to. So not just patience, but what was the other factor? It's there's another thing besides patience that people who paint have. I I can't remember it now. See, I'm getting old. It's my birthday. I'm already forgetting stuff. Oh well, such is life. I shall stick to what I know. I have enough problems with drawing anyway. Yeah, I guess it's discipline. Um, Evan, it's I mean, it's an entirely different skill set to paint. So it's if you have the patience to learn how to paint, I mean, it's like learning how to sculpt or learning whatever skill set. It's you have to know color theory. You have to know drawing. I mean, there are a lot of things that go into being a good painter, and it's yeah. If you can do that, that's pretty awesome. Mm. Um, Evan Von says, I've heard it both ways. I'm firing my autocorrect. Discipline. I have no discipline. Odd topical question. Are you about to ask an odd topical question, or I shall wait? Matt Kimball says, cutting off body parts is a pro move. Van Gogh was a wise man. Van Gogh. Um, does symbolism play a part in color theory? I think so. I mean, I think there's I think like red is a very symbolic color. So I I mean I don't know enough about color theory to really comment in depth about it. And I know like complementary colors and stuff, but it's very basic. And that's the thing. That's why I kind of coloring is a part of art that I sort of dread the most when I do an illustration. That's why you see very few color pieces from me because it just takes a lot of work for me to do something well in color. I mean, like I see combo colors. I mean, you have to be really skilled to be a good combo colorist because you do have to know color theory. You have to know light and value and all that stuff and how it all works together and how it can work together well. And again, that's another discipline. But painters, have to know all that stuff, or at least have a working knowledge of it to produce good art. So yeah, again, as a whole, as a whole another skill set you have to learn to be a good painter, and I can't. Uh, yeah. I admire it if you can do it, um, and if you have the patience to 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 tackle it. I just never have. Kind of like if I have something in my head, I want to be able to just get it out when I want to, and at least traditional painting for me, and again, it's a combination between the time it takes to learn, the just the mess factor I hate, art that's messy. That's why I never draw in charcoal. I only work in mechanical pencils because I never have to touch the graphite and get my hands dirty. I'm like a I'm not I don't know. I'm a fussy artist, so. But yeah, with painting it's that much worse. And I would make a mess because I'm clumsy to begin with. So I just avoid it. I stick to the computer, draw by hand. I can do that well enough without destroying my drawing studio, and then I'll scan it in and I'll color on the computer where it's safe, where it's safe from me messing things up too much. And if I do mess things up, I can just hit undo, so it makes much better things. Everyone Subscriber says I dread everything about arting. Matt Kimball says that just sums up art for me complete. Get out of my head, you foul monstrosity. Yeah. No, if I have an idea, it's like I wanna be able to draw it or be able to create it without having to struggle with the medium that I'm trying to use to create it. Everyone subscriber says bleh. So I saw Shazam. What did you think of Shazam, Evan? I saw it when it came out, and I have my own thoughts. But what are your thoughts? Let us know. Actually, should I draw Shazam? Nah, I'm not gonna. I mean, I was thinking about drawing the guy who played him, but no. Ooh, maybe I'll draw the guy who played him in the 1970 TV show. That'd be cool. That would be cool. His name's Jackson something. Fun, but not good, I guess. Good for a DC film. I guess I would agree. It was fun on a certain level, but I didn't think it was a good movie. I didn't like it, generally. My reasons are I am a big Captain Marvel fan. Hold on, I gotta drink water. Matt Kimball, not booze. I don't get drunk. Ooh, that was good. They all seemed like terrible people, says Evan Von Scriber. Kinda, yeah. I mean, that was a part of my problem with the movie. I'm a big Shazam. I shouldn't even say Shazam fan. A big Captain Marvel fan. I hate his new name Shazam. That's the first thing. I hate the fact that call first they didn't even call him Shazam, and they didn't call him anything. If for anyone who didn't watch the movie, spoilers. This is gonna be a spoiler-filled commentary. So if you haven't seen Shazam and you would like to see it unspoiled, then turn down your volume for the foreseeable future. But don't leave. Don't leave. Stick around and keep watching. I don't want to lose you as a viewer, but if you don't want to hear this, just turn down your volume. Yeah, they didn't call him anything in the movie. They never gave him a name in the movie Shazam. So they gave him they were thinking of names for him like Captain Sparkle Fingers or whatever. It's a bunch of dopey names, but they never called him Shazam. They never called him Captain Marvel. He had no name. That's the first thing. But my main, I think Shazam, the comic book, was the second comic book I'd ever bought when I was like 4. Um, and it the I think it was number 1, and it had just come out. This is in the 70s, and it was drawn by the creator of Captain Marvel, C.C. Beck, and I loved it. It was such a great comic book. And then later on in the 70s, they came out with the Shazam TV show that was live action, and I loved that. It was so cool. So I've loved Captain Marvel for decades. The whole premise of Captain Marvel and Billy Batson, the kid who turns into Captain Marvel, is that the whole reason Billy Batson was given Captain Marvel's powers was because he was the one innocent, truly good person on Earth that the wizard Shazam could find to take on his power and be his champion, Captain Marvel. I mean, Billy Batson was chosen specifically because he was a good person. He was an unusually good person in a world full of selfish, mean, and spiteful people. That's why he was chosen. In the movie Shazam, the live action one that came out this year, they completely threw that out the window. Billy Batson in this movie, and I think it's mirroring what they redid, how they reimagined Captain Marvel in the New 52 for DC Comics. Billy Batson is a juvenile delinquent in the movie. He's not as bad as he was in the comics, but he's running around. He's committing crimes, like minor crimes. He's screwing around with the police and stuff. He's not an innocent. He's getting into fights at school and whatever. But it doesn't. They've completely changed his character, trying to make him more quote unquote believable, or relatable or whatever. Because apparently they don't think that a good kid who tries to be helpful to people is believable enough. They think a kid who sort of bucks authority is kind of a troublemaker, and and they give a reason why he's sort of a troublemaker. I mean, he's trying to find the mother who abandoned him, when he was a kid, and the movie doesn't make it any sense. Despite that, the movie doesn't even make sense in the context of the rules it set up for itself. Throughout the entire movie, Shazam is looking around for a champion to take on his power, and he looks at apparently hundreds or thousands of people to find the one good person who can take on his power. The first person he looks at in the movie is Savannah, as a kid. Dr. Savannah as a child. He sees Savannah, and Savannah doesn't pass his test of being good enough because he's tempted by evil in the test, and so Shazam says, "You're not worthy," like Thor, and banishes him from his mystical castle in the middle of nowhere. back into the real world. And Shazam does this multiple times to multiple people. But for some stupid reason, when he gets Billy Batson, who is arguably worse than a lot of the people that he rejected in the past, he accepts Billy Batson as his champion. Even though this kid is getting into trouble, getting into fights, causing trouble with the authorities, apparently Shazam all of a sudden doesn't care about his past standards and says, you're good enough, and gives him all the power in the world. It makes him Captain Marvel. It makes absolutely no sense in the context of the movie. Never mind the context of the character itself in the comics. I mean, it completely ignores its own. Evan Ross Garber said the part where he sees his mom was so sad. Evan's talking about when Billy finally finds his mother. Okay, he thinks that his mother lost him at a fair, at a carnival when he was young, like 3 or 4 years old, and so he's been looking for her ever since. And the whole movie, he's believed that she just misplaced him and she couldn't find him. Turns out he finds her eventually, and she abandoned him. She just left him, in the crowd. She knew that he was getting lost, and she just like walked away. And later on, she saw that he was with the police, and they were trying to find his mom, and he was trying to help them, but he was only like 3 or 4. He couldn't tell them much. And they show her just like staring at him, and then she just walks away because she didn't want to have to deal with him anymore. It was terrible. It was bad. That's why when Evan says, they all seem like terrible people, they were kind of all terrible people. I mean, even Billy himself was kind of a jerk in some ways. I mean, the one who came out the best out of all of them was Freddy, and I guess his the foster parents. They were obviously sort of basically saints. Because they, no matter what happened, they always had a smile on their face. Oh, that's okay. Here, have some more pie. Hey, Nick C's here. How you doing, Nick C? DC Warner Bros. Always tampers with perfection. Captain Marvel should have been a slam dunk. Instead, Shazam was an airball. Yeah, it was. It was disappointing. And another thing that really the movie really got just wrong. And again, it didn't make any sense, even in the context. Not just in how it didn't remain true to the comics, but it was not true to its own frickin' rules within the movie. The whole point of the word Shazam, it's the name of the wizard, but it also stands for the entities that Captain Marvel gets his powers from. S in Shazam stands for the wisdom of Solomon. Okay, so S, Solomon, wisdom. H, Hercules, strength. A, Achilles, courage. Z, Zeus, power. A, Atlas, stamina. And M, Mercury, for speed. So when he says Shazam, he gains the powers and abilities of those 6, entities, gods, whatever. So he should be superhumanly wise, strong, courageous. What's the other one? Powerful. Stamina, and fast. He should be superhuman in all those areas. Okay. In the movie Shazam, he was more immature as Captain Marvel than he was when he was Billy Batson. He was doing stupid, idiotic, moronic stuff as Captain Marvel that, as Billy, just in the context of the movie, he would never do. I mean, Billy Batson was pretty mature in this movie. I mean, he was a pretty mature 14, 15-year-old kid, and he had a lot of street smarts. He was a smart kid. When he turned into Captain Marvel, though, all of a sudden he turned into an idiot. It seemed like he didn't know. He was a moron, and it was frustrating for me to watch it. It was painful, seeing that character reduced to. It was like his IQ dropped 20 or 30 points every time he says Shazam. It made no sense. Not only that, but when he was Billy Batson, he was a pretty brave kid. I mean, he was taking on 2 bullies at once when he was in school. who were probably stronger than him, in defense of Freddy, his uh, his foster brother. I mean, he was a brave kid, as Billy Batson. He took them both on. When he was Captain Marvel, he was fighting Savannah, who ended up getting very similar powers to Captain Marvel, so they're pretty much on equal footing. He spent half his time running away from Savannah when they fought. Okay, one guy one on one, as opposed to 2-on-1 when he was a kid. He was only fighting one-on-one with someone who was pretty much equal to him, and he ran away multiple times. And he not only just ran away from him like a coward, he ran away from him and tried hiding in a mall filled with people, innocent civilians who have no powers and are completely vulnerable to the electrical and all the powers of Savannah and Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel runs and hides in a packed mall filled with men, women, and children. And at one point, he's like crawling on his hands and knees trying to get away from Savannah. It was horrifying to watch for me, knowing how badly they screwed up that character. It was terrible. Evan Von Scriber says the foster parents were bad too. They didn't care that Frey was missing, and they left the minors unaccompanied to go look for Billy. Yeah, they were just. Yeah, they were bad too. But I guess when I say they were saints, they weren't like overtly evil. They were the sort of the DC. No, sorry, not DC. They were the Disney version of good parents who just let kids do whatever they want, and they don't. They're like buddies to the kids instead of actual parents. They don't. They're not. The kids end up being the responsible ones in comparison to the parents, where the parents are just sort of absent so that the kids are able to do whatever shenanigans they want to get up into. So, Evan Scriber says the bad guy wants Billy to say Shazam while holding the staff, so he spends the whole movie shouting Shazam. Shaking my head. Nick C says DC Warner Brothers should have adapted Jerry Ordway's Power Shazam instead of Jeff Johns' New 52 version. Sorry, my phone is cracked, so it's hard for me to read. POS was an epic. Power Shazam was an epic update, but still faithful to the classic creation. Okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't read Jerry Ordway's Shazam. I probably should. I mean, I'm mainly, I've mainly read like the 70s comic, and the originals, of course, from the 40s. And what other versions have I read? I mean, I've read his appearances in various other books, but in terms of actual Shazam books, yeah. So I was disappointed with Shazam. It was not. It was a movie that I think kids. It was geared towards kids, and kids and their parents will I'm sure loved it because it sort of fulfilled that the whole child, child in a man's body thing. Sort of like Big, but because I've never been a fan of that theory that Captain Marvel is a kid in a man's body. I mean, the whole point of Captain Marvel is that, again, he gains superhuman wisdom, and kids don't have superhuman wisdom. So the idea that Captain Marvel is just as stupid as Captain Marvel as he probably was as a kid, or he's a kid in a man's body making childish mistakes and reacting childishly as Captain Marvel, completely goes against what his power set is supposed to be. And I don't like it when writers, or in this case, script writers, ignore the fact that one of his powers is wisdom, and he should be wise. He should be a smart guy. Instead, they have him acting like a fool, and yeah, that annoyed me. That probably annoyed me the most about the movie. And they just coupled that with when later on in the movie when his foster brothers and sisters also gain the powers of Shazam at the very end of the movie. So like the 5-year-old girl they all transform into adults, but the 5-year-old turns into an adult, but she still has the mind of a 5-year-old, but she has the powers of of a superhuman flying around. I mean, can you imagine the damage someone like that can do? I mean, it makes no sense. It's just idiotic. Um, so yeah, I was not. It was a nice looking movie, but when I was watching it in the theaters, I was disappointed. It's a movie. It's a movie for children and and for the parents of children who want to see their kids happy. But as an adult, um, just seeing it, as a fan of the character, it was a poor adaptation. It was too silly. Um, and I don't mind silly, but I don't know. It's made for kids. Those are my thoughts. Um, Evan Scriber says, "Is teleportation one of his canonical abilities?" It fell out of place. Teleportation? What do you mean? He didn't teleport in the movie. Nick C says, "Bone creator Jeff Smith, uh, what the readdressed what you were talking about by making Captain Marvel and Billy Batson separate beings." Yeah, well, they kind in the original comic book, they always kind of were. Whenever Billy and Captain Marvel would talk about each other, they would talk about each other as if they were separate beings. Um, you know, Billy would always refer to Captain Marvel as Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel would also, in turn, refer to Billy Batson as Billy Batson. He wouldn't say me or I. He would say, Billy or Captain Marvel. So he totally teleported to the strip club. He didn't teleport to the strip club. He went through a portal. Um, when they were at the was it the wizard's castle, and they went through a didn't they go through a door to the strip club? I'd have to watch it again. But I I can't remember him teleporting. I mean, that would have stood out, but he doesn't teleport. Um, I thought that they went because they have these doors, these actual physical doors that you would open up, and then they would walk through it, and then they would end up somewhere else. But that was at the Wizard's Castle. It wasn't something that Captain Marvel could just do on the fly. Um, yeah, cue it up, Evan. Let me know because I've only seen the movie once when it came out. So, um, Matt Kimball says, "Does it ever seem weird that comics and now movies seem to be trying to convince kids that the way to develop superpowers is to cultivate some sort of deep-seated mental disorder?" I don't know. I think it's just sort of like yeah. I think it's connected to maybe the whole um, in a sense leftward lurch that a lot of comic books and especially Hollywood sort of have been embracing over the past decade or so. Um, less towards personal responsibility and more towards it's someone else's fault that things in your life are going badly, or I don't know. I think a lot of people making comics and movies probably have a lot of deep seated issues themselves, and they just sort of impart that onto the characters they're writing. Matt Kimball says split personality equal, equals immediate superpowers. Okay, gotcha. Well, Billy Batson does not have a split personality in the comics. Um, I guess when I say they're two different people is that when he turns into Captain Marvel, at least in the original comic books, it w- it wasn't so much a split personality as he was. It's almost like the Incredible Hulk in a sense. When Bruce Banner turns into the Hulk, he's still Bruce Banner, but he has a different person. I don't know if I know I understand what you're saying, but it's different with Captain Marvel. It seems like they are almost like they are two different people because he I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, Matt's laughing as he listens to me struggle try to explain this. I mean, I guess in a sense you are right. I guess you can call it a split personality. Um, but yeah, because they've made characters with split personality like Two Face. I mean, they're playing characters with split personalities. Captain Marvel does not come across as to my mind as one of them. It's because maybe because his powers are magic based. Um, it's it seems a lot like almost man, it's different from a Doctor Fate as well because Doctor Fate is two different personalities, distinct personalities. Um, it's Naboo and then whoever puts on his helmet. With Captain Marvel, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but he's not mentally ill. So, but I think the powers just change him to the point where, like I said, he has superhuman wisdom. So he no longer thinks and acts like a child. So they are kind of two different people. But I don't know. But yeah, I didn't like the movie. Okay. I in some ways, I did like it. The best part of the movie for me was the ending, the very last scene of the movie when all the kids are in the lunchroom, and Freddy had made this bet with all the bullies at school he said that he was friends with Captain Marvel, um, and that he would show up for lunch, and you know he's sitting at lunch, and Billy shows up as Captain Marvel, and so proving Freddy was actually friends with them, and all the school kids are like, "Oh wow!" They're all impressed with Freddy now. But the funniest part of the movie for me was after at the very tail end of that scene, um, Captain Marvel says, "Hey, I brought a friend along too," and then all of a sudden you see Superman walk up behind Freddy, and Freddy doesn't see him. He turns around, and then his eyes like get really big, and then the screen goes black. I thought that was the funniest part of the whole movie. Um, Evan says they give up on the doors because of all the monsters, and he teleported them all to the strip club by believing he can. Really? Ah, I okay. Yeah, that's a load of crap because Captain Marvel doesn't teleport. Um, Evan says the cafeteria scene was great. Um, Matt Kimball says that'd be a funny scene, funny skit. Let the superhero community sit down with a shrink, and see how many of them would pass any mental competency exams. Yeah, I think they've done stuff like that, like on Funny or Die or the Pete Holmes show. I think they have some skits like that on YouTube with Pete Holmes. No, that was the X-Men skits, which are very funny. If you haven't had a chance, watch the X-Men skits with Pete Holmes. Um, but they did make that comic book a little while back. What was it called? With where all the superheroes go to a shrink, and then like there's a murder. A whole bunch of characters are murdered. Um, it's a weird comic book. I think it's written by Tom King. Can't remember the name of it though. What's going on? I'm hitting stuff by accident. Sorry. Cancel. 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 I don't want that. Everyone Scar says that's a show on YouTube actually. Oh cool. Okay. Heroes. No, it was called Heroes. What was that? It wasn't called Heroes. Uh, can't remember what it was called. I can't remember what that comic book was called. Oh well. I'll remember later on when. Long after this live stream. As usual. Alright. No, I'm not giving Zendaya a beard, so I'm trying to draw these shadows. It's just she's just looking a little like Bigfoot right now. Hmm. Give her a neck beard, says Matt Kimball. One of those quartering numbers. Yeah, no. How did the crematorium ads go? I'm still working on them. So, I mean, I have one left to ink. So they're still ongoing. So let's share the second one. I think I did. Where is it? Somewhere around here. This is the second one here. I'm gonna do the type in Illustrator or Photoshop or whatever. So just have to do the other one. All right. Let's see. What's the best way to do this? What is the best way to do this? Just dive in. Just dive in. Have you talked about how Joker is the greatest film ever made? I have not, because I don't know if it is the greatest film ever made. I haven't seen it, so I don't. It could be good, could be terrible. Um, I don't know. I kind of do want to see it now because so many people are making comments about it. I mean, some people hate it, say it's evil, or I have no idea. Um, I'm interested in how Rotten Tomatoes is reacting to it, because Rotten Tomatoes is pretty much garbage now, and woke garbage, in a sense that if a film is considered woke, or supports various left wing opinions, then Rotten Tomatoes will support it, and if it doesn't, then it will trash it. So right now, Rotten Tomatoes is it trashing the Joker? In a lot of ways, it is. I think a lot of reviewers don't like the movie for whatever reason, so that kind of makes me interested in seeing it. But the whole thing for me with the movie is that it's completely out of the time frame of Batman. I mean, it's set in 1980, I think, and in the movie, Bruce Wayne is like 6 years old. So, and the Joker is in his 40s. So, this isn't the character that Batman fights when he's Batman, because by the time Bruce Wayne is an adult, the Joker will be in his mid 60s. So it's not the same character. So I don't understand the point of the movie. I think it's kind of dumb in that sense. I don't understand why they didn't just set it for, especially since they're getting a new Batman in the form of Robert Pattinson. Why didn't they just set it in the present? That would make a lot more sense to me. And even if you set it for early in Batman's career, have it be the origin of the Joker, whatever. So it doesn't make any sense in the context of Batman, because it's it's just a Joker character who's not the Joker. It doesn't make any sense. Matt Kimball says report for thought crime. Yeah, well, that will come, Matt. That will come. Don't worry. It is coming. A lot of ways, if you go to Europe, you can already be arrested for thought crime. Whether that guy who taught his dog how to do the Nazi salute, he ended up getting in trouble with the police for it. I mean, that's just that to me, that's insanity. The fact that if you make a joke with your freaking dog, you can get in trouble with the police. Come on, that's garbage. That's why I'm so glad that I live in America. We still have relative freedom to speak as you want without getting in trouble with the law. That's the whole reason why we have a First Amendment. So the coppers and the man, Mr. Popo, can't just bang down your door and slap cuffs on you for wrong think. Europe still has not learned that lesson, which is sad. Nixie says, USA, USA, USA. Yeah, USA, man. Seriously, greatest country on the planet. No offense to anyone else who doesn't live here, but you know, it's the greatest country on the planet. It's awesome. Love living here. I mean, I definitely want to go to other places, but yeah, I don't know if I would ever want to live somewhere else. Well, I'm sure I would. I mean, I wouldn't mind living in Scotland. I like Scotland, but yeah, America. I mean, there's so much opportunity here. Not only to get rich and make money, but just to do and say, you know, what you think. It's just it's a great country. I can understand why so many millions of people are clamoring to get in every year, even if it's illegally. I can understand. It's a pretty awesome place to live. Matt Kimball says, "Fine, I'm reporting you to Twitter. They'll be very upset. They will be most perturbed by your comments." You're not woke enough. Put you in Twitter jail or Facebook jail. It seems like all these companies that are owned by far leftists all have the same general attitude. If you say anything that they disagree with, they're gonna punish you for it. So it is yeah, seems to be a very common tactic of people who claim to be open-minded and tolerant to be anything but towards those who disagree with them. Slightly ironic. It's very humorous, though, and extremely hypocritical. Oops. Up. Alright, let's see. Starting to come together. Slowly but surely. Don't call me Shirley. Interesting. John Wick 3. What about John Wick 3? Evan Von Scriber. Did you see it? Did you like it? I'm seeing no response from Evan regarding John Wick 3 after he brought it up. I'm not sure what he. Are you asking for my opinion about it? If so, I thought it was the worst of the John Wick movies. I am not. I don't know. I wasn't a fan of it. It went heavily into. It jumped the shark, basically. It went from being a cool action franchise to a cartoony, silly, nonsense franchise with John Wick 3. So. Evan Von Scriber says, I have it on now, not watching. Trying to stay awake. Okay, gotcha. That won't ruin it for you. Watch it. Let me know your opinion when you've finished watching it. I just thought it was just ridiculous. Evan Von Scriber says, how did you feel about 2? I like 2. I like John Wick 2. I thought it was pretty good. Evan Von Scriber says, I prefer spoilers if you have something to say about 3. Well, are you sure you want spoilers? I won't give specific spoilers. I'll give you general spoilers. John Wick 3, it starts off the exact second that John Wick 2 ended. Okay? If you saw John Wick 2, John Wick spent the entire movie fighting dozens, scores, hundreds of professional killers, which is okay. That's fine. He's the best killer on the planet, so he can do all that stuff. But in John Wick 2, he gets beat up the whole way through the movie. Okay, and at the end of the movie, there's a bounty placed on his head for every killer on the planet. to collect on if they can kill him. That's how John Wick 2 ends. John Wick 3 starts off the exact second John Wick 2 ends, with John Wick on a run, already beaten to hell from the events of John Wick 2. And he's on a run from every killer on the planet out for his head to collect a multi-million-dollar bounty. And in John Wick 3, John Wick proceeds to kill, again, dozens, scores, hundreds of professional trained assassins who are bigger and physically stronger than him when he's already half dead from John Wick 2. I cannot suspend my disbelief enough to buy that garbage. It's just I was just watching the movie and it's just like it doesn't make any sense. And he doesn't sleep. He doesn't pee. He doesn't eat. He's just killing guys left and right. Who are, outweighing by 100 pounds, and he's just killing them like nothing. He doesn't get tired, and I can't buy that after a certain point. It just got completely cartoony and ridiculous. I enjoy mayhem, kung fu, violent, action movies as much as anyone else, but after a certain point, I have to be able to buy that on some level this is plausible. And John Wick 3 just threw all that completely out the window. It was just like, we don't care if it makes sense or not. We'll just keep on doing what we did in John Wick 1 and 2. And it doesn't work for me anyway. I have to be able to buy into the story. And if they had set John Wick 3, say, a month after John Wick 2, and John Wick has had time to recover and get more weapons and prepare for the events of John Wick 3, I could buy it, but I can't buy that a man who's already half dead after being shot, stabbed, beaten up, from the previous movie that he still has the ability to keep doing it for another 2.5 hour movie. I can't buy that. Let's see. Matt Kimball says, spoiler, Bruce Wayne's Batman. Oh no, you ruined it. Everyone subscriber says 2 is good. Didn't like 1. I love 1. I thought 1 was great. I thought it was very good, actually. 2 was, it was good too. But with 1, I like the whole visceral reason why John Wick was going on his killing spree. I mean, the whole thing with his wife giving him that puppy and then them killing that dog is, and she just died, I think, like a couple weeks earlier. So he's, the wound is still fresh for him, and then they just take the last thing that reminded him of her, and he just goes ballistic. To me, that was a pretty strong motivation to get back into killing and taking out the scumbags who did that to him. 2 was good as well. I said, I thought it was fairly good, but 3, it just went completely ridiculous. It was just dumb. Everyone subscriber says maybe he got a second win. Yeah, you don't get he didn't get a second win. He got a third movie. Matt Kimball says 5 hour energy and some Robitussin. yeah. Maybe if they had a scene with him snorting like a bag full of coke and shoving like 5 needles of adrenaline into his chest, maybe I could buy it. But they didn't have that, so. Evan says, I'm glad I'm not watching it then. Comic Bob is here. Oh, hey, Comic Bob. Good seeing you. He said they did kind of show that those last 2 guys were letting him get his second win. Sure. Yeah. No. Evan subscriber says, where were you 12 hours ago when I was at the Red Box? Hey, man. Sorry. Should have texted me. Should have sent me a message on Twitter. Comic Bob says, I like 1 the best. 2 was good. 3 was okay. The story got a little silly. Yeah, it got a lot silly for me. I mean, when I was watching 3, it got to a point where I was like just watching it in the movie theater, and they had that whole scene with the dogs and Halle Berry. And I'm watching the scene where they're fighting all these assassins coming at them in the Middle East, and I can't help but notice that they're assassins. They're in this sort of like ruin, sort of like a desert ruin, with two levels on it. I couldn't help but notice that whenever the dogs had to kill some of the guys on the second floor of this ruin, this happened to be one of those standard sort of dog ramps that they use for sporting events for dog sports. They happen to have one of those professional dog ramps just conveniently there so that the dogs can run up it to get to the second level to jump on one of the assassins up there. It was stuff like that was just obviously they obviously did not care how obvious it was that that they didn't care. It was just bad. It was just it was just a bad movie. It was poorly done, and especially I guess after if the other movies had been as bad, it probably wouldn't have bothered me because I would have known to expect equally bad stuff. But it's just that the level of quality dropped so far from John Wick 1 and 2 to John Wick 3. I couldn't I can't I couldn't stomach it. It was just bad. It was just bad filmmaking. Um, Evan says, I guess I'm switching to It Chapter 1. Well, maybe. I can't. Yeah, I can't watch it. It's just I'm not into that kind of horror stuff. Kind of a wuss when it comes to horror. I like horror, but it scares me, so I tend not to watch it. Evan Von Skyver says, cool. Let's see. Oh, okay, I missed a bunch. Oops, cancel. Cancel. Um, Evan Von Skyver says, it can't be worse than Man of Tai Chi. Man of Tai Chi was pretty bad. Yeah, that's another Keanu Reeves movie. Combo Bob says, I think they originally intended to end it at 3, but decided to just keep making them. Yeah, I mean, they're just cash grabs now. They don't care how ridiculous and how bad they are. They just figure it's like, hey, people are gonna go watch John Wick movies regardless. So, but they're not, because I'm not gonna watch the next one unless I hear ahead of time that it's really good, that they've changed and actually gone back to basics. Because the way John Wick 3 ended, again, it just seems stupid. So I am not inclined to see the next one. They've had their chance. They got me with the first two by putting out a good movie. Start putting out crappy movies, I'm gonna stop watching your movies. So it doesn't matter if it's John Wick or Marvel Comics. Don't make crappy movies, and I will continue watching them. Try to screw me over by taking my money and giving me bad product in return. That's the best way to lose my business. So, and that tends to be true whether it's movies or comic books. If you that's why I haven't bought any Marvel comics in several years, because they just continue putting out crap. So, you put out crap, you're gonna lose my business. I'm a fan, but I'm not a slave to buying and supporting things. So, short version. It Chapter 2 is okay, but not great. Everyone says I haven't gone to a theater in 9 years. Oh my gosh, wow! I still enjoy going to the theaters because I like the experience of okay. Whew, I almost messed up. I like the experience of going to the movies, even though it's really expensive. But I go to the movies a lot less than I used to, and so in order for me to get off my butt and get in my car and drive however many miles to the movie theater, and to pluck down $10 and then an additional $7 for popcorn, you better provide me with some good agenda-free quality entertainment. If you don't, I'm gonna be mad. And then next time you put out a movie, I am not going to go see it, and I'm going to be hoping for the active failure of your film because your film's crap. So, yeah. But I still go to the movies. I mean, generally I have loved like the Marvel Cinematic Universe up until I don't know. I think the first one. I mean, there have been a few that have been sort of weak, but you know, generally I've been pleased with them because they've been generally faithful to the comic books and stuff. I mean, I won't go see any more just because of the comments and the admitted sort of leftist agenda that the 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 people currently in charge of of Marvel's has said that they're going to try to push with the movies. So I won't go see them because of that. I don't want to support that sort of nonsense. But generally, up until Endgame, the movies have been good. Um, and I'm glad that I saw them in the theaters. And if there's if there's a good action movie, I'll see it in the theaters. I'm probably gonna go see um, what's that movie? Ad Astra. That looks pretty good with Brad Pitt and Tommy Lee Jones. I'll probably see that in the theater. If it looks like a good movie, um, yeah, I'll support it in the theater. Um, but I am much more cautious now before I decide to pluck down my money than I have been in the past. Before, I just go. It's just like, oh man, cool. I'll go check it out. Now I don't say that anymore. Now I'm like, let me look into this movie first, see if it's actually worth the time and money. And a lot of times it's not. So I think also with the advent of big screen TVs, I mean, you get a lot of the sort of movie experience just in your own home. And I feel a lot less need to go to the theaters now. I think people in general feel a lot less need to do that. See, I'm missing a bunch of stuff you guys are saying. Compa Bob says a good popcorn flick to see is Ready or Not. Ready or Not. Which one's that? Everyone Scar says, "Oh yeah, oh that's the one with where the woman gets married and but her new family, her in-laws, have a thing where when a new person brought into the family, they try to kill them, and if they survive, then they're a member of the family. Yeah, that looks pretty funny. It's sort of like a funny horror movie. I might check that out, or I might just watch it at home. I don't know. Evan says, I finally saw Endgame too. Endgame was okay, says Comic Book Bob. Not as good as Infinity War. Yeah, I agree. Infinity War was much better, and the main reason is because Endgame, Infinity War took the storyline seriously all the way through. There was very little silliness in Infinity War. So you felt the dread, the importance of what was happening throughout the movie. Endgame watered that sort of gravitas down with a lot of silliness. I mean, I guess the main example is Fat Thor, fat slacker Thor, and his dopey idiot alien friends playing Fortnite. It was just stupid, incredibly stupid, and the whole sort of feminist woman power agenda garbage they threw in there, which was again, it's not even so much they put it in there. It was just that it was so blatantly obvious. It was annoying. It took me right out of the movie. I don't want to see Hollywood, the writers' personal socio-political agendas in superhero movies. I don't want it. That's not why I go to see superhero movies. I go to see it to see the stories that that are supposed to be that are being told. I don't want to see some weirdo, magenta-haired third wave feminist scene where, for some magical reason, all the female superheroes in a battlefield filled with thousands of people, they all magically appear in the same place at the same time to have a girl power action shot um, moment in order to protect the most powerful character in the whole movie. It was so stupid and pointless. It made no sense. Why would a woman with a freaking spear need to show up to defend a woman who just blew up a giant space cruiser by herself in 3 seconds with no help whatsoever? Why does she need to show up to defend her from anything? It didn't make any sense. It was just stupid. Um, but Endgame was kind of filled with a lot of stupid, nonsensical things like that. I mean, they had, you know, sort of goofy Professor Hulk in there. Um, they had a lot of sort of pratfall moments. It was almost like the Russo brothers who directed it, and they're really good directors. I mean, they directed probably my favorite Marvel movie, um, Captain America: Winter Soldier. It's like which was a great movie because they took the whole thing seriously. It's like the Russo brothers got together with Watiki. What's his name? I can't remember his name. Tika Tika what Taika Watiki, is that his name? He's the director of Thor Ragnarok, and I hated Thor Ragnarok because Watiki played the entire movie for laughs, and it was a movie that dealt with the death, murder, and destruction of everyone Thor knew and loved, including his homeworld Asgard, and they just played the whole thing for laughs. It was so bad. I hate that movie. It's like, I mean, I know they're fictional characters, but it was almost disrespectful to the story itself with how blithely they treated the subject matter. It was just. I mean, I'm still mad, but I was really mad when I was watching it in theaters. I was just like, what the hell is this? But it was like, Endgame was like, the Russo brothers had a script, and then for some stupid reason they gave it to Taika Waititi, whatever his name is, and handed it over to him to allow him to put in a bunch of stupidness that he thought was funny. And yeah, that all that stuff's weakened Endgame. It made it a less a poorer movie than Infinity War. So, um, Comic Bob says, "Yeah, I'm done with Disney until they amend their ways." I don't know if they will. The only way that Disney will amend their ways is if they lose a buttload of money by people not watching their movies. And I will do all I can to help by not going to see their crappy Marvel movies anymore. They lost my business, mainly with Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel for me was the beginning of the end for Marvel. And with the death of I keep saying that the death of Stan Lee marked the death of Marvel Comics. With Stan Lee dead, Marvel Comics has died as well. So, and the death of Tony Stark in Endgame pretty much solidified it. And yeah, and Ross Garber says MacGuffin Gauntlet should not be a phrase people say when talking about that film. Activism is killing entertainment, says Nick D. Yeah, it is, because you're killing you're turning away half your audience, and that's idiocy. I mean, I want everyone to support my work, to hire me, to support my channel. I don't care if you're left wing or not, or right wing. It doesn't matter to me. I want everyone to support my stuff. Um, so, it for a company or an industry to actively be hostile to half the country and half of the country's beliefs is just stupid. I mean, we don't need to watch Disney movies. We don't need to watch Marvel or any sort of movies like that. You know, if they're going to offend us, I mean, they just had that. They just canceled that one movie that was supposed to come out, I think, this month about leftists who kidnap and hunt Trump supporters. How's a movie like that ever get made? Can you imagine a movie like that being made when Barack Obama was president? If they made a movie where a bunch of right wingers kidnapped and hunted people who support Barack Obama, that movie would never even pass the script stage, and everyone involved would be pilloried and run out of the country if that had happened. Um, but in Hollywood, they feel perfectly fine doing, making a movie like that when it comes to people who might be conservative, and it's I mean, it's not just insulting. It's just it's dangerous in a sense. I mean, again, we have freedom of speech in this country, and they're free to do it. But it's a terrible precedent to set that people who don't agree with you politically are deserving to be killed and hunted down, and to present that as entertainment. That's just it's just sick. Um, Bill and Ted 3, and I'm done forever. I want to see Bill and Ted 3. I'm looking forward to it. I just hope they make it eventually before they hit 90. It's like at the rate they're going, it's like, they're gonna be like, you know they're gonna be in the old folks home. Um, Movies on my list are Joker, Jojo Rabbit, Doctor Sleep. I'm not familiar with that. Midway, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I don't really want to watch that. I mean, I love Mr. Rogers, and Tom Cruise playing Mr. Rogers will never be as good as Mr. Rogers. So for me, it's just like, I don't want to see a watered down version of Mr. Rogers. And Star Wars. I'm not really interested in seeing Star Wars. I don't know. I don't know. I'm more interested in seeing like The Mandalorian, the TV show that's going to be on I guess Disney streaming service that deals with Boba Fett. That looks interesting to me. The new Star Wars film, it doesn't at all. I have very little, if any, interest in seeing it. Um, will I see it? I don't know. I might. It just depends. Depends on how I feel that morning. So, but I have no real need to see it. How it should have ended made fun of that scene. Made fun of what scene? Oh, you put a link, so. Copperbot said, yeah, I got a lot of crap for not liking Ragnarok. Why? Yeah, I got a lot of crap for having taste. It was a garbage movie. Taika Waititi is the Paul Feig of the MCU. I'm not sure who Paul Feig is. I get a lot of guff for not liking anything. That's all right. So do I. Teen Titans Go to the Movies is the greatest film from DC in 20. I would not say that. I'm still trying to get through it. I got through the first, I think, 15, 20 minutes, and then it was so silly, I had to stop watching it. I'm not a big Teen Titans Go fan. I loved, what was that show? Young Justice. I loved Young Justice. It was my favorite cartoon until they brought it back for a third season after being on hiatus for like 5 years. And that 5 years, again, political correctness, wokeness, social justice had taken over the animation industry, and it came back and it was garbage, completely woke nonsense. And I think I watched the first season of the return season. I watched season 3, and it annoyed the heck out of me the entire season. Season 4 came out. I had no interest in even trying to watch it, and I'm glad I didn't when I heard some of the things they put in it. But they were race swapping. They were changing characters into, they changed Halo into a Muslim. It was just, oh god, it was painful to watch. They turned Beast Boy into some mealy mouth SJW spokesman, prattling off weird socio-political public service announcements on TV. It was just it was I hated seeing that. But when I saw the first two seasons were just perfection. It was just pure escapist superhero action and adventure, but done seriously, done with a serious tone. It was really really well done. If you haven't seen seasons 1 and 2 of Young Justice, I really recommend it. But at the same time, I highly recommend avoiding seasons 3 and 4 because they're garbage. Um, let's see. Emma Scriber says it was probably greenlit in 2016. Oh, you talking about that movie? Yeah, it probably was. Bill and Ted's is releasing next year, says Compa Bob. Oh, really? Okay, cool. That's good. Doctor Sleep is is a sequel to The Shining. I'm gonna skip that because if it's the sequel to, it's gonna be hard. I don't know. Uh, the Shining, the movie by Stanley Kubrick was very different from the book, so I don't really have an interest in seeing a sequel to that. Um, Headbot Scriber says, "Hey, how did Comic Book Bob get a wrench? He spoils comics. Um, how did he get one? Did I hit it by accident? Maybe I gave him one by accident. Um, Comic Bob says, I gotta review Star Wars, so I gotta see it. Mock Rocks is here. Okay, cool. Actually, let me go actually in the chat because right now I'm looking at my phone and I'm probably like way behind. I want to finish my drawing. It's 4:30. Oh my gosh. Um, hold on. Oh, there are 8 people here. Oh, awesome. Hey, 8 people. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and please give this video a thumbs up if you like my drawing and my content and my rambling. Um, let me see. Where is this? Okay, I'm not too far behind. I gotta review Star Wars, so I gotta see it. Monrock says that's awesome artwork. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Glad you like it. Paul Feig, Paul Feig was the guy who wrote and directed Ghostbusters 2016. Okay, yeah. Then maybe Watiki is that guy. New Young Justice sucks, said Compo Bob. Yeah, it does. It's garbage. Um, skip to the Back of the Future scene in Teen Titans Go to the movies. You'll enjoy it. Okay, maybe I'll skip to that. I'll watch that. Compa Bob says, I am the spoiler god. Kneel before Bob. Evan Scriber says, I know. Evan Scriber is so sleepy. I'm sorry. Matt Kimball says, I share your stream on my stream every time I'm on. Oh, thank you very much, Matt Kimball. I appreciate it. Thank you. I need all the help I can get. Evan says, yeah, the Zendaya looks good. Okay, thank you. I'm glad it's coming out. I'm actually very glad it's coming out because it was frustrating me for a while. But I'm starting to get the hang of it. Starting to get the hang of drawing her again. So I'm gonna go back and continue on and try not to mess her up. I should try not to mess her up. It's a weird one. Like you make one stroke and it's just like. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hold on. You guys back? Am I back? Yep, we see you. This is Comic Bob. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Uh, I don't know why my Wi-Fi keeps doing that. Let me check. Let me just make sure that I am on the right Wi-Fi. It's not. No, it's not, dagnabbit. Ah! I'm not on my Wi-Fi. I'm on the frickin'. Okay, now this should be more stable. Alright, let's see. How do I back out of here? Alright. Alright, we're back. Okay, cool. We're back? Cool. Yeah, I had to switch Wi-Fi's because for some reason my phone had spontaneously changed, and then biting you in the butt midway through your stream. Alright. Let's see. My music has stopped. What's happened? What has happened to my music? How long have I been drawing? I've been drawing for over 2 hours now. That's probably why. Hold on. Alright, that's a little better. Matt Kimball says never gonna give you up. Okay, that's who was that? What was that singer's name? Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you. I can't remember. Redhead. I can see his video in my head. Can't remember his name though. Rick something. Rick Ashley. Okay, thank you very much. Evan subscriber. Yeah, Rick Ashley. Yeah, good singer. Sorry. Rubbing my eyes. Hey, Matt Kimball. Hey, you have a good night. Thank you for hanging out. I really appreciate it. It's good seeing you. Thanks for supporting my channel. Appreciate it. I missed a bunch of drawings here. Sorry, a bunch of comments. Don't spell shame me, CBB, Comic Book Bob. I tried shading with paint pens yesterday. It was the worst thing any person has ever done. Ha ha ha. I've never tried paint pens, although I've wanted to because I'm using white on black ink. I've always wanted to know what it was doing. Mock Rocks asks, is he using pen or pencil? Yes, I'm using pencil. I'm using mechanical pencils. My main pencil is this one, which is a 2mm one, and it's just held in a standard, drafting, lead holder. You can get these at Office Depot or Staples or wherever. Buy them on Amazon. And then I use these leads that you can buy in different what's the word I'm looking for? Different hardness. This one is an HB. Basically, this one's basically a number 2 pencil, which I'm using to draw with this. But you can draw. You buy them harder or softer to get darker marks on it. But it's a mechanical pencil. And just press it and just insert it in there, and then close it, and then you just draw with it. Let's see. I could never draw in pencils. It says Mock Rocks. I use ink pens. Oh, cool. That's great. I always have to draw in pencil first because I make so many mistakes. If I drew in pens, drawing in pens takes a lot of discipline without pencil first. And again, I don't have the patience to do that. I should probably learn just to increase my skills. If you can draw with pen straight off without pencil, that's a lot of talent. I don't have it. One day, but not yet. Hey, let's see. Mock Rock says looks pretty close to freehand. Okay, cool. Neat. Compo Bob says I use a 2H. It's a little harder, but I like the control. I think I was using a 2H before, and I thought they were HB, but I didn't like it just because I could not get the lines dark enough when I wanted them to. I don't find I have any less control using a HB. HB for me is perfect because if I use a B, if I start going to the B's, like 2B, 3B, it starts to get messy. And like I said before, I don't really like mess when I draw. I like having a certain amount of control, and a number 2 pencil is perfect for me. It's not too light, not too dark. It's the whole Goldilocks thing, so it works well. Matthew Weldon does that, says Comic Bob. Light sketch and then the rest in pen. A freaking cheap ballpoint pen. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Matthew Weldon is... You can tell how talented he is, not just because of the finished drawing, but the fact that he doesn't need a detailed pencil drawing before just diving in with the inks, and he uses like really cheap ballpoint pens to draw. Again, proving that you don't need expensive tools or elaborate tools to draw well. He just draws well because he is a skilled, talented artist. And I honestly, I think when I think of Matthew Weldon, I think he is a master artist. I mean, he's a young guy. I think he's relatively young. He's in his late 30s. So, but he has a long career ahead of him, and the guy is just amazingly talented, and I have a lot of admiration for him. um, for what he's able to do. I'm quite a bit older than him, and I have a lot of admiration for his talent. I hope that I'm able to get to that level at some point, but it's just he just has skill. If you haven't already, you should definitely subscribe to Matthew Weldon's YouTube channel. He doesn't post as much as he should, um, but um, but he's definitely someone who should be watched by people who are fans of comic book art, because he is extremely talented. Everyone Scar says, I can hear how bad John Wick 3 is just listening to the sound effects. Combo Bob says, I did an unboxing video for Hyung Lee's Battle-Made Knuckle Bomb. Oh, you got that already? Oh, man. I still haven't gotten mine yet. And I don't know how he did the inside back cover. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to starting to receive these comic books, whether it's Bound Maiden Knuckle Bomb or Cyber Frog, Red Rooster. I mean, these are books we've been waiting for a year or more. So I am definitely eager to receive them. So hopefully in the next few weeks. It just depends on how they decide to dole them out, to mail them. All right. Oh, okay. Hey, thank you, Compa Bob. Compa Bob has thoughtfully placed Matthew Weldon's YouTube channel in the chat. Thank you very much. Everyone should go subscribe to him. Don't leave here, but sub to Matthew Weldon. Everyone Scar says everyone is getting their books but me. Well, I haven't gotten mine either, so I feel your pain, Evan. Comic Bob says, I didn't realize it, but I actually did the gasp thing when I saw Matthew Weldon. Matthew Weldon did the inside cover for Battle-Made Knuckle Bomb? Oh, I had no idea. Okay, cool. Okay, I can understand why you would gasp that. I mean, I probably would too, because I love seeing his work. He's just and he's such a nice guy. I think that okay, Matthew Weldon is an example of how far just being nice and pleasant can take you in terms of the fans. Matthew Weldon is like I don't really like using this term when it comes to guys, but he is like the sweetest guy. He's just like, I mean, I listen to him and it's just like he just comes across as just like a generally nice guy. I mean, it's almost like he's almost like guileless, because I think the word that comes to mind when I hear him talking is kind of like innocence, and it's almost refreshing to hear that someone is he draws the comic book Punchline. It's a great comic book. It comes out it's published by Anarchic Press. It's a great comic book, beautifully drawn by Matthew Weldon. He doesn't get paid for that book. He draws it just to get copies of the comic book. I mean, that you understand that? Does that make any sense? He draws a freaking comic book, a major comic book, for a somewhat major publishing company, not for money, but because he loves drawing comic books, and for I guess the eventual paycheck somewhere in the foreseeable future. I don't understand that. That's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, the guy is so talented, and he's not getting paid to draw this 24-page comic every month. But he's fine with it because he loves drawing comic books, and he's happy just getting copies of the comic book once it's published. I don't understand that. What I don't understand that. But I admire someone with that much of a love for comic books, that he's willing to put in that much work and effort, month after month after month. I mean, after the second month, I'd be like, where's my money? I but at the same, I am incredulous that he would do that, but at the same time, I admire his his love of drawing, and that I mean, I think it's just cool. I mean, he's a cool guy, and I enjoyed listening to him. Um, One, because he's so silly. He's a really silly, weird guy, and I like that about him. But at the same time, it's just I don't know. He's a cool guy, very nice guy, and part of why I am such a big fan of his, and why I've become such a big fan of his, is not just because he's a great artist. It's because he is, like I said, he's just a nice guy. He was willing to put in a lot of effort just because he loves drawing, and because he seems to love the fans, and 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 helping other people, and that in turn makes me want to support him and support the stuff that he does. So um, yeah, that's very cool. It's something I would like to, yeah, I admire it. I would like to maybe be more like that myself. I know I'm not. Because I like getting paid when I do a lot of work. I'm not really one who would do a comic book and not without getting paid. So, but Matthew Weldon will, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, Matthew Weldon. Let's see. I'm missing a bunch of stuff here. Um, Weldon has no ego, just a good dude. Yeah, that's it. He has no ego, and that is a rare thing with comic book artists. I mean, I'm not a professional comic book artist, but I have a certain amount of ego where I want, if someone hires me to do a job, I want to get paid for it. And I want people to like my art. Um, and I'm sure Matthew has an ego to a certain extent, but he's a, I don't know, it's hard to describe. Um, I know Matthew is he wants to do great art, and that takes a certain amount of pride, and again, I admire that. But his pride doesn't seem to extend to wanting glory and fame and riches for himself. He seems like he wants to draw and create great art for the sake of creating great art, and I find that admirable. Um, Punchline is a great book, says Comic Bob. I did a review of it a month or so ago. Really cool book. I think he's going to start getting paid from it soon. I hope so. He deserves to get paid a lot of money. He deserves to get rich drawing comic books. I hope he does. Weldon is also doing the next book in the Black Hop series. It's on Indiegogo now. Yeah, could you post a link to that, Comic Bob, if you haven't already? Okay, yeah, you did. Okay, cool, great. Thank you very much. Yeah, I love the Black Hop series as well, because I love Tim Lim's work, who's also another great comic book artist. Um, but yeah, I'm glad he's doing that. Weldon needs more recognition. Mock Rock says, I worked in a pool hall for free. The trade-off was to get to play and learn from good people. Yeah, I mean, it's cool if you're willing to do that stuff. Do work for free. I mean, I entered for free when I was in college, just to get the experience. But drawing a comic book is a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and I guess me personally, I can't really see doing that for free for 10 issues. You know, I can't. Weldon is what so many of the new creators in comics should be. Someone who generally loves the medium and doesn't see comics as a stepping stone to the real goal. Yeah, that's true. That is true. And Weldon. I'm sorry, I can't read this. Weldon's Thor is awesome. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I saw one drawing of his Thor. It looked really good. It says so yeah. I said great artist. Oops, I forgot. I didn't finish this. I was yammering. A little too much there. Interesting. Oh, this is a drawing of the Joker. What's his name? Joaquin Phoenix. That I did, I think, last week. Last week? No, I did this 2 weeks ago. Yeah, boy. So that's why I'm sort of struggling with Zendaya. It's been 2 weeks since I've drawn a portrait. I should not go that long between portraits. I get out of shape. Try not to smudge the line work that I've already done. I'll put it here. That way. There we go. That's better. sharpen this pencil. It's getting there. It's getting there, slowly but surely. I know you guys are used to seeing magnificent works of art being completed in 2 hours or less, but sadly, I am not quite at that point yet. What you will see are lots of mistakes, lots of erasing, and lots of complaining on my part. So, if that's what you like, this is the stream for you. I do speed drawings though, so you might see this drawing again done in under 3 minutes. So it's sort of like a really fast drawing. Part of me wants to stop right now. I kind of like the sort of incomplete look of this. And I might just do something like that. I might finish like the major shadows on her, and then like leave areas like a lot of her hair just unfinished, and just go with that. So I like the negative space look with that. It's 5:30 right now. I think I'm gonna stop for now. Let's see. Hold on. I gotta stand up. Yeah, I've been drawing for 3 hours. Yeah. Sorry, it's not finished. I apologize. But this is where it stands now. I'm probably gonna come back tomorrow, try to finish it off, and get it done. I don't think there's much more left to do because, like I said, I don't think I'm gonna make it a real finished drawing. I'm just gonna do a lot of the shadowing in her around her face and leave a lot of the rest of it sort of open, empty space, negative space. I think it looks pretty good like that. A little more artsy fartsy, artistic, maybe. But anyway, thank you everyone for hanging out with me this long. 4 people left. That's very cool. I'll let you guys go to bed and get some rest, and I can do the same. Thank you again for supporting me. Thanks for subscribing to my channel. Hopefully you guys all gave this live stream a thumbs up and you were entertained by it. You enjoyed it, and maybe you learned something. But again, I appreciate your support, and I hope to see all of you again very soon. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications for next time I live stream or post a video, and I will see you guys possibly tomorrow, probably tomorrow. But I'm just not sure what time. So make sure to hit that bell. Okay? Thank you. You guys take care, and I will see you soon. Bye. Have a good night.